Hi, welcome back to ReactJS class. I'm Vivin Arana, and today we will look at how to build React elements. Now, React elements are the basic building blocks of any project. We will be doing much more advanced things, or even the project that we created in the previous class was much more advanced than what React creating elements is. So we're going to go back a little bit. So we're going to have our steps as setup environment, which is the first step, which we've already done, and the second one is clean up code and create elements. So we're going to get rid of some of the code that they've added, but before that we'll also look at the code and how it functions, and then we will create our own element. So now to go back to the code, so we have our React app running already, which I have created here. If you remember, on a refresher, we can go and start the project. What this will do is it will run my server and host my code and run the project here. That's what we get. Now what happens inside here is it is going to go to index.html first and redraw this page right here. And if I look at page source, so inspect, and look at the code here in the elements, what I will see is I have this div root, and inside that I have app, and app is app header, and header as this text and bunch of details here. So if you look up here, what we have in this code is div root, and from here it goes to index.js, which is the source file, and it will add this thing app into it. So I'm going to get rid of all these things except for this. I'm going to keep the render function. Also, I'm going to keep this because what I want to do is I want to render whatever I want to render here into this root element. I don't need this. If you see, these guys got. So since I'm not using app, I can go ahead and delete these files too, but I'm not going to do it because we'll need them later. We need these files. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to use something called as create element to create our element for React. So it takes three parameters if you see here. First is the type, which is can be an HTML element like div, span. Second is the properties that you want to assign to this, which can be some styles, maybe some IDs, whatever you want to do, and then the children that come inside it. So if I want to create something simple, I can just say react dot create element. So that's the function that we have here. Now, as you know, it takes three properties. The first one is what type of element do you want. I can put a h1, I can put a div, I can put whatever I want. There's a bunch of different elements, input object a. So if you see, it gives you all the options here. Second option is properties. Now if I don't want to give any properties, I can give straight away null. And the third one is what is the text that you want to give. I can say hello world, exclamation mark. And if you go back to the project, if I save this file here, it will reflect that here. Now if you look inside the code here, you'll see root now has, instead of app, it has h1 hello world. I can change this to a div. Let's say it will create a div with elements inside it. You can add more children inside here, or you can give some styles to it. I can say if I want to give a color to this particular element, I can say style, and inside style I can say, I know this standard is a little different from what you're used to if you've done before, if you've done HTML coding or any type of JavaScript coding, but this is how you will assign a style. Let's say I want to give it red color. Save it, and you'll see it changes here. Let's make it more prominent by giving h1, and if you want to change color to, let's say, green, and you can keep on adding more and more styles to it and create more of the elements. We're not going to use this kind of structure in production code. We'll create something else, but this is just to understand how it works, how to create an element, or what happens in the background when you do all these things yourself from scratch, and how all these different frameworks and libraries help you to build better code and smaller code in the background.